Hello and welcome to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and this podcast is brought to you by thelegendarychiropractor.com, an interactive and immersive virtual platform for prospective chiropractic students, current chiropractic students, recent chiropractic school graduates, and even veteran doctors of chiropractic out in the field wanting just a little bit more from this profession. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you do, be sure to share with a friend, leave us a rate, leave us a review, and also be sure to subscribe to get more. Chiro HD, superior cloud-based practice management software. Chiro HD is a user-friendly, all-in-one EHR solution built with one mission: to help you run your practice like a boss. Learn more at chirohd.com. Total Clinic Solutions is your go-to source for purchasing both brand new and refurbished chiropractic equipment, as well as phone support for repairs and maintenance. Call Derek and allow him to combine your wishes and his 23 years of chiropractic equipment expertise to find what's best for you and your patients at 704-622-4089 or head to totalclinicsolutions.com now. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Johnny Reuter here with another episode of the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. I am so stoked to be coming to you live today. I am outside, and if you hear some loud trucks, noises, birds, dogs, kids, I don't really know what goes on around here, but whatever you hear in the background is because I'm outside and it's a gorgeous day in Chicago. So that's why I'm shooting this video right now, and that's why I'm outdoors. So with that being said, today we are talking about inspiration for staff, inspiration for your team, and how to motivate your staff and team, right? The reality is that most people are motivated through emotion, right? So if you can tie in emotion, you can tie in motivation and leadership, right? And so with those couple things, I'm going to talk to you about some key takeaways that are important to you as a recent chiropractic school graduate, especially if you are stepping into an associateship or if you are stepping into your own practice and opening up right away. So let's dive right in. Inspiration for your staff, inspiration for your team. What does that look like? What does that mean to you? What that means to you, we talked last episode about hiring your staff and how to hire, what questions to ask, all of those different things. But what's important today is that we're discussing on how now they're on your team. You've asked the right questions, you've gauged them on their career path, you've shared the mission and vision of your practice with them, and now it's all about how do you continually motivate them and inspire them to do great work in your office for not only you, but for your entire community and patient base. And that's what we're diving into today. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Inspiration for your staff. Money is not the only motivator. Money is a fantastic motivator, but it's not the only motivator. Like I said before, money is not the only motivator, but it is a great motivator. So with that being said, make sure you have a bonus structure in place. Make sure you have bonuses and benefits in place for your staff. As a chiropractor, as a small business owner, you don't have to have the whole 9 yards with, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, 8, PPOs and all that healthcare insurance and stuff, but offer them other things, right? Stipends for health insurance, or a gym membership, or pay their cell phone bill, or something along those lines, something that takes that bill, that problem, that issue, that toxic thing that they have a relationship with off their plate, and now they're reliant on you to pay that bill. But it looks good for you because it's not only a bill or it's not only a money motivator, it's an emotional tie. It's an inconvenience for them that you're literally removing from their plate and saying, I'll take care of that, I'll handle that, don't worry about it. So really, really cool stuff you can do with your money and with your bonuses and with your benefits. That's first. The other thing is your wins are their wins. Your wins are their wins. You've got to celebrate everything in your chiropractic office. As a small business owner, you have to celebrate everything. And what do I mean by that? It means from the highest patient volume you ever saw to the highest months of collections you ever saw, or it could have to do with, just simple things like a patient story, a success story, or something along those terms. In our staff meetings, our weekly staff meetings that we do every Tuesday, we started bringing to the table a success story from the prior week. And it's my job as the associate chiropractor to share that story because I'm most engaged with the chiropractic patients. I'm adjusting them all the time and everything like that. So it's really cool and profound though to bring that to the team, because guess what? It keeps us on purpose. It keeps us on mission in regards to serving at a higher, better level for our patients and our clientele. Because at the end of the day, if our staff understands why they're in the chair they're in, why they're asking for the money they're asking for, why they're doing the things to do in regards to call, to reschedules, and all of these different things to get them to show up for their reports and exams and doing re-exams and assessments and all of this, if they can understand the bigger picture behind why we do those things, that's going to be way better off for you as a chiropractor and as a doctor and as a staff moving forward to serve your community and your patients. So your wins are their wins. Celebrate everything. It's important that you do that and you shine light on people. But when they make a mistake, understand that it's important to point that out. We do something called, it's a compliment sandwich. It's saying, hey, you did this really, really well. Here's how you could do it a little bit better, but I really loved this. Right? So just reiterating, compliment sandwiching them and reiterating kind of what they did really well, what they could have worked on, and then retying back what they did really, really well. So that's going to be huge in regards to staffing and in regards to keeping your staff motivated and inspired, right? Now to tie it back to last episode and to tie it back to the mission and the vision. The mission and the vision and your why is so important, but guess whose why is also important? Your staff, your team members, your family that you have in your practice. You got to understand their why. One, you should have found that out during the interview process, and you should have found out if their why matched your why or was fairly congruent or adjacent to your why. Because if it wasn't, and if it's not, that's going to be a huge problem moving forward in many different aspects. But we talked about that on the last episode, so go listen to that if you haven't yet. But why it's important to share your why and listen to their why is to not only get congruency in the hiring process, but now you have their why because you now know how to motivate them and what they're striving for in life, right? If they're kind of unfamiliar with where they want to go, if they're super young, if they're 18, 19, 20 years old, they don't really know what to do, they haven't gone off to college yet, they're not sure what their path looks like, and it could be at your office, great, right? But make sure you know what motivates them. Make sure you know their why. What are they striving for in life? Are they striving for a career in healthcare? Are they striving to be your office manager someday? Are they striving to be the boss someday? What are they striving for? What's their goal? What are their ambitions in life? If you know their why, they know your why, your team is pretty much set, and you can inspire and motivate them throughout the entire process of working day in and day out, long, hard hours sometimes where not everything goes smoothly, not everything goes exactly how it's planned, but at the end of the day, it's going to be so much better off because they understand you, you understand them, and all of the communication is on the table, and they feel comfortable bringing you things, and you feel comfortable asking them for what they're supposed to be doing. But not only that, you expect them to go above and beyond and go that extra mile for you because you have common ground. You've built that relationship. And to go back to what we talked about in the beginning, in literally the first minute of this episode, people are driven not by money. Yes, it's a motivator, but they're mostly driven by emotion. They're driven mostly by money because it creates an emotion. It creates positivity. It shoots out adrenaline and dopamine in the system, right? So if you can motivate someone with not only money, but you can also motivate them with inspiration and motivation and your why and your vision and your mission, that's going to be a hugely congruent team. And that's what this is all about, right? You want to make sure you got the right staff behind you and around you. And that's what this is all about. So if you're a recent chiropractic school graduate, or you are thinking about opening your own practice coming out of chiropractic school, or even you are looking to do an associateship, you got to understand how teams work and team dynamics and and you got to understand how staffing works so that you can not only make the best hire for yourself, but as an associate chiropractor, how do you handle, right, different team dynamics, and how do you become a part of that? Like I told you on the last episode, you're likely the newbie in the office, right? You're likely the guy or gal who hasn't been there for 3, 5, 10 years. You're likely the person walking in for 18 to 24 months and leaving. And unfortunately, that's the truth. But the reality behind that is how do you make the best out of that as an associate chiropractor and make sure that you are learning as much as you can from the staff, from the head chiropractor as you can. And then you're able to go out, start your own practice, and apply all of those systems, principles, and philosophies to your practice. And you now know how and what motivates people and your team. And you can create a beautiful family in your practice, and you guys can serve your community wherever that might be. I don't care if it's in Atlanta, Georgia, Louisville, Kentucky, or the Galapagos. You got to understand how teams and staffing work, because if you don't have a good team behind you and your energy is not protected, well, guess what happens, right? Those patients in your office suffer, and those patients don't deserve that. So you got to be on top of this. You got to know your stuff. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry I'm so amped up right now, but I love bringing you this content. I love bringing you these videos. And if you're listening to this later on audio podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave us a rate, leave us a review. And if you want to hear more about something different or something else, please let us know. We have gone really, really hard, and we have done everything we can to cover as many topics as possible for both chiropractic students and recent chiropractic school graduates. And that's who our audiences are. That's who we love to take care of. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day and rest of your week this week. Peace and love, my friends. Bye. Dr. Stu Hoffman, founder and president of Chiropractic Malpractice Insurance, is the foremost expert in both risk management and risk avoidance. Understanding the everyday challenges of today's practicing chiropractor and the current public perception of chiropractic has made Chiropractic the fastest growing malpractice insurance program of the last 28 years. Find out more at chiropractic.com. Imaging Services' primary business is chiropractic solutions. With over 45 years in the industry of helping chiropractors, Michael Tokash offers free consultations on building your business. In the past year, Imaging Services has installed over 100 X-ray machines and digital X-ray systems in over 42 states across the United States. For more, head to theimagingservices.com. Dr. Brad Glowacki runs one of the highest volume, highest profile, highest profitability practices in the world, and it's all run with vitalistic communication procedures. Those procedures from his office are then shared with other chiropractors at his various trainings as a part of Level Up Mentoring. This information is created, developed, tested, and then packaged simplistically before being taught. With bruises and scars from making mistakes, Dr. Glow always delivers refined content that is battle-tested and simplified for use on Monday. To level up your life and practice, head over to levelupmentoring.rocks. That's levelupmentoring.rocks. Again, I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and you're listening to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for engaging with us on all of our platforms, including, but not limited to, Facebook and Instagram, all at The Legendary Chiropractor. Be sure to check our home site out at thelegendarychiropractor.com, as we have much to offer for prospective chiropractic students, current chiropractic students, recent chiropractic school graduates, and even veteran doctors of chiropractic out in the field. And lastly, I'd like to thank not only you, our listener, but also our podcast sponsors. Without them, this show wouldn't be possible. So I encourage you to go check out their websites and what they have to offer in the show notes for this episode. Thanks again. Stay legendary, my friends.